Is there anything anyone has to address the board with?
Craig, I need to address the board. We have a hiring freeze, and I have a couple of bus runs that I am short drivers. We have more runs than I have drivers. I have one sub other than my mechanics and my driver trainers. And we have a person that we have trained here lately, and they are ready to be hired. And the process, and I don't know if you all know this, but the process we go through is we hire a person as a substitute driver. I make them drive for 30, sometimes 60 days before we even consider hiring them for a full-time position. But I would like to hire this person as a substitute driver. I need the position. If I don't hire them, sometimes when we get into situations where we have 3 or 4 drivers off, some of my people work in the garage are working, and I'm having to pay them overtime. And so it's costing us a little more money where I could get by a little cheaper with the substitute. And I need the sub because I've got runs that I need to cover. And then I just found out a while ago that we may be losing another driver, may have one retired here shortly. So I know we have a hiring freeze on, but I didn't know if that applied to hiring substitutes. And this person, and this job would only be a substitute till the end of the year, and then we'll reevaluate where we are next year if we need to hire full time. But I've got a run open, and we'll have another one come open shortly. Did that make sense?
Fine as far as substitute.
I don't know, I can't remember exactly how the motion was made, but is the substitute doesn't get any benefits except when the substitute is called to work, right?
Right,
So you put them on a list.
Yes.
And so you're not really hiring someone, you're just basically, well, you are in a sense, you're paying someone to fill in when somebody who already holds that position doesn't show up for work. So
Right.
you're not creating a new position, and you're not hiring into a new position or filling a vacancy. All you're doing is having someone come in to work to fill in for somebody who's sick or off for another reason.
Right.
And I don't think that, I want to look at the minute, but the hiring freeze probably wouldn't apply to having someone fill in when somebody else is off, because you're going to have teachers who are going to be
Right.
off, and what your problem is, you don't have a substitute driver in the pool.
Right.
That's what you want to
Right.
turn in.
Yeah, I just need to put it in the sub pool.
I don't think your hiring freeze applies to putting somebody in a pool to fill in when somebody else is off work, because you're not creating a new position. This isn't a full-time job, correct? Right. I don't think you need board approval to do that.
I think we're fine.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else have anything?
I'd like to, last month, and I appreciate you, by the way, recognizing your classified employees for their grant and their hard work. I got to experience some of it, and I've never in my life seen so many grateful children. And what a blast. It did me good just to slow down long enough to say, this is the real cause. This is what we're out here for. We're advocating for children. And I've always said, as long as we advocate for them first, at the end of the day, everything's going to work out fine.
It will.
No matter what happens, as long as we advocate for them, everything's going to be great. But the two concerns, a lot of my folks were called, and I stopped over and talked to Mr. Blackburn about it, but 3 or 4 years ago, you saw a need for a tire changer, and you advertised for bids, and there was 3 bids put in. And I come over and talked to Mr. Blackburn about it, and we need to do something to rectify this problem, because at the end of the day, you're providing everyone with safe and hostile-free work environment, and it's certainly not safe. And the second thing is, and I've instructed them not to do this no longer, but we have a mechanic using his own vehicle. And my understanding is the only thing that's wrong with the vehicle that they used before was there is a bolt from the starter broke off into the motor. Now, it sounds like a lot of work, but I think anyone that's ever owned a car trying to do any kind of work, that just takes you drill, tap it, put an easy out in, pull it out, and put the starter back on. That's all that's keeping that truck from being on the road. That needs to be taken care of also. And I think unless, and Mr. Schmidt will certainly smack my hand if I'm wrong, but I think the tire changer And at that time, it wasn't a lot of money, but actually it is now because we see the financial problems that everyone's having. But it was only like $6,000 or $7,000, and that was 3 or 4 years ago. And these folks have continued to operate without that tire changer. I think that
Mechanic's using his own vehicle, do you mean at work?
if a bus is broke down, he's been using his own vehicle.
All right, I'll check Mr. Clement about that.
And the tire changer, I know there has to be, Craig, there has to be some emergency funds somewhere.
Well, we're gonna take a look at that. We've actually been discussing that.
Yeah, we've talked, we've talked.
Do something about that.
Good, because, at the end of the day, we want to make sure that these guys aren't overworked and put in
Well, it's
a
very,
bad
I
situation.
mean, it's dangerous backbreaking work. I mean, it's just, you have a balancer up there, but no tire changer. I mean, it's the odd thing, you look at, you have a, computerized balancer, and then you look around and these guys are having to manually break his tires down. And that's just, I mean, that's.
We're in the process of sending a survey out to everyone just to ask them what's important to them. And the thing that amazes me is it's not wages these folks are looking for. It's little things like that just to make their job easier. And but I appreciate you looking into that.
Yeah, we'll get with Mr. Fournette and get some estimates.
I got it.
And we'll work on that. Okay. Does anybody else have anything? If not, I need a motion to adjourn.
I'll make the motion.
Need a second.
Second.
All in favor? You favor saying aye? Aye. Stand adjourned.